Going on, everybody? Welcome to Side Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Eli Griffin. We are rocking. You are rocking now with Side Talk Sports Podcast Live Edition, where we bring you everything from the sideline and all that. I'm your host, Eli Griffin. Catch us on TikTok at Side Talk Sports. As well, catch me on X/Twitter, formerly known as Twitter at E Griffin I. Now, welcome to the show this evening. Hope everybody's having a good time. You know, rocking with everybody. So we're going to get into all things NFL training camp. As you'll know, a lot of news coming out that out of the NFL and training camp, as well as Coach Prime. You know, she's back healthy, looking good, feeling good. So we're gonna dive into some of my things, takes about that. But hope everybody's having a good evening and all that. So let's get into it. So I want to get into training camp headlines, and one thing I want to get into is uh, some NFL news this weekend. We're gonna get into your man first ever. I want to get a congratulations to Sterling and Shannon Sharp, first brothers to ever Shannon Sharp and Sterling Sharp NFL brothers to hit the Hall of Fame, and that happened this weekend. I'm pretty excited for it, especially being a Shannon Sharp fan. Sterling Sharp was well overdue. Well overdue on that. So congratulations to the Sharp brothers. That's awesome. That's one thing that's happening. It happened yesterday. Got his gold jacket. Today's the ceremony, so go y'all check that out as well. So, um, there's a lot of things going on. The NFL training camps just open, like I stated. We're just checking it out. So, a couple of things I want to dive into today is Jacksonville Jaguars, and how do you think they're going to use Travis Hunter? Personally, I think they should use him both ways until he's not able to do certain things. Um, I think he can do it. I know around the world and everybody's thinking how long is it going to take. And one thing that I've been debating with myself is just trying to um see how long is it going to take for him to kind of understand the flow of the NFL and stuff like that. So that's one thing that I'm trying to wait and see. And does he play preseason games? Do you think he's going to run, get some preseason work, or they're going to reserve his body? I know people say that he can't do it. He's going to be average at both, but I believe that he's able to do both at a high level. He did it in college. Why not do it in the pros? Again, um, the pro game is slower. You huddle after each play, unless it's like a 2 minute drill. But I really intrigued on how they're going to do that for him and see what's going on. So I've seen a video of. Let me check this out. Sorry about that. Travis Hunter. Okay, Travis Hunter doing his thing. So Let's see, where is it at? So we're just gonna have to see how this is gonna work. Um, so we're just gonna have to check that out. So yeah, he wants to do it. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do it. It's Travis Hunter. So again, Travis Hunter can do it all. Then that's great. I'm just intrigued to see how he's gonna do it both ways all the time. And uh let's see how they use him. I'm kind of curious about see how they do it all week, how they rest him up after each and every game because it's a long season, 17 games, 18-week season. So and even diving in more down um of the Jacksonville Jaguars, it has to happen. Trevor Lawrence has to um Trevor Lawrence has to take some strides, take some steps. He's been struggling, and that's something that needs to happen. So I don't know what they're going to do when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I think this is one of my surprise teams that I have this year coming out of the AFC South, but you just never know. But Trevor Lawrence, I don't think he's been a bust, but he's been, you know what I mean. He hasn't been as advertised. I think they gave him his money because they didn't want to perceive him as a bust or trade him away like they did everybody else in that quarterback draft of a couple years ago. But I think that um, just overall, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I'm picking Trevor Lawrence to have a jump up, and hopefully he does have a jump up. So and we'll just see. I think Travis gonna help. Was it Brian Robinson and that receiving core and all everyone's gonna have a lot of attention on Travis Hunter. We'll just see. But here he's been locking up. So locking up uh people on the defense side of the ball as well, not just there but everywhere else. So I mean, I'm intrigued on how that's going to go. So we're going to see what happens and go from there. And later in the show, we're going to run down my top five surprise consider surprise teams, so we can just see, and again, subscribe, all that good stuff for me. I appreciate y'all for doing so. Um, so moving on to can Anthony Richardson keep his starting job? But that's something that's been buzzing throughout training camp, and that's super intriguing to me as well because Anthony Richardson has been god awful for the last couple seasons. Maybe because he only had 1 year at Florida, but I'm just saying that he's just been god awful. So we'll see how that works. And who knows? Daniel Jones, he had flashes. I'm not gonna say, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Jones, but he has flashes. He's had flashes. So we're gonna see how he's gonna take that challenge on this camp. And um hopefully we see. So um hopefully we'll hopefully see that battle is going to be good. And that's a QB battle that nobody's been talking about. So I'm intrigued to see how that's going to work. Sorry, let me take these off. I'm intrigued to see how that's going to work. So him, who else? And Daniel Jones, and this is kind of what he said the other day. So um so again, with Daniel Jones getting picked up in Indianapolis, I feel like they have a decent team. It's just the quarterback play. They got Jonathan Taylor, they got a couple good receivers, but now it's just all about getting them going. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that goes. Just some I I'm excited, and hopefully Anthony Richardson can continue to get better. I know he only had 1 year, so he's still kind of raw. Good arm talent, has all the measurables, but like I always told everybody, it's not always about your arm and your athleticism. Has to be up there as well too. So that's another thing. Also, I want to get into um uh Desmond. Some I don't know, man. This is something that's crazy, and something that I'm keeping an eye on. Just a simple fact is, this is something that I've never seen before when it comes to this. Come to the NFL, I've never seen anybody in my life have to run 10 laps consistently to practice. Usually you practice to get in shape. I'm not exactly sure, and who knows what's wrong with this guy, but Desmond Watson, the 450-pound D tackle, I believe, out of Florida. There's a couple things that I want to tell you about that. First of all, you're 450 pounds. I'm not the smallest guy in the world, but you're 450 pounds. You didn't think all the times you had during mini camps and all that good stuff throughout the summer, you weren't trying to lose weight. I'm not sure exactly how much weight they're trying to get him down to. Um, I'm not exactly yeah, I'm not exactly, because he's 450 pounds, so I'm not exactly sure how much weight he has to lose. But do you feel I don't feel sorry for him per se, because you have a large amount of time to drop some weight. Shit, I would if it was my opportunity, oh goddamn, I'll try to lose as much weight as possible. Just the simple fact is I'm trying to make it in the league, and he has the opportunity to do it, but he's squandering it just by walking. I understand he's walking to try to get burn some calories and burn some weight off, but I would do a lot more than this. Honestly, I would literally be running, jumping, doing sprints, anything that I can possibly do to get him down to the playing size that they want him to. I'm guessing if he's 450, he probably got to lose at least 50 pounds or at least shit, probably 100 pounds or something like that. But do I feel sorry for him? Yeah, because he's one of those things where he can't control his weight, and that's the thing, I guess. He can't control what he eats or whatever it may be. If all his medicals is clear and he has no problem losing weight, so I honestly think that it's probably just um him. You dig what I'm saying? So maybe it's just him. Maybe he has some problems, but I'm not gonna sit here and feel sorry for him. But I'm not gonna feel sorry for him because when you need to be feeling sorry for somebody that has an opportunity, it's up to him if he wants to make the opportunity last. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all up to how he wants to do it. You know what I mean? It's all up to what he he wants to do. So I hopefully, he can figure that out, and so he can press through and get to where he needs to get to, just so he can play and people and show what he can do because the NFL is not for long. So you know what I mean. I don't think they're gonna take too much more of the overweight type of shit. Plus, I keep on saying he had a lot of time between when he got drafted or even before he got drafted, knowing he's going to try to get to the NFL to this time right here to lose as much weight as possible. But hopefully he does it, man. I'm rooting for the dude, Desmond Watson. I'm rooting for you, dog. So if you hear me, I'm rooting for you, man. Just do what you got to do to make it. I guarantee at the end of the day, it's gonna pay off if you do, brother. So just go ahead and do your thing, man. So um yeah, man. And I'm not gonna sit here and cuss you out because you're overweight. Honestly, like I said, take advantage of what your opportunity, and that's what you probably should have did. There's nothing I can say about that. You just do what you got to do to get where you need to be. You feel me? So what else? Um, so one thing I want to, cause okay, everybody knows I'm a Broncos fan, and shout out to um Mount High Mindset podcast episodes airs every Monday at 11 a.m. with me and my co-host Larry Stroh. You know, comment and subscribe, all that. We talking now about Broncos, but um Caleb Williams. I know he's getting off to a bad well, from what I see, he got off to a bad start. And Ben Johnson cussed him out, benched him, or kicked him off the field. It's practice, and I get it. It's going to be one of those things where I'm not exactly sure what's going on over there. He has an applicable team to make some noise in the NFL, but it's up to him to do his thing, man. I'm not sure. He's a pretty good talent. Like they said, he was the best talent since and quarterback talent coming out of college is Andrew Luck, which it's true. But I've stated here before, and I've said it to other people. Caleb Williams in college got away with a lot of shit that you can't get away in college in the pros. With not studying defenses, not knowing certain things, sort of just running around. Granted, he's elusive and he can scramble on all that great things, but if you can't get the rhythm down and and rhythm down and reading defenses and understanding the intricacies of the game, it's going to be a struggle over time. Just look at Russell Wilson. Great his first 10 years in the league before his athleticism dropped down just a little. Now it's kind of hard for him. So now he has to reinvent himself. Um, like I stated before, you need to come to the NFL trying to, or even before that, trying to understand defenses and coverages and if there's going to be a robber or if it's a cover three, a cover four, a cover two, you know what I mean? Who's blitzing? I'm not saying he don't know what he's doing, but I feel like it's kind of hard for him to understand it right now and picking up a new offense, just like he stated last year that he was watching film by himself. And again, you should already know how to watch film from college, man, unless Lincoln Riley didn't teach you shit or that's what I'm saying. You can get to the NFL in college just off of your pure athleticism, but if you didn't know how to read the defense and stuff like that, how are you gonna be how are you gonna look? But he's gonna get it together if he really wants it, like I always said. So that's one of those things. So one thing I want to get into around the league is as well around the league is just the Cowboy situation. So yesterday, breaking news is your boy Michael Parsons asked for a trade. So asking for a trade is wild because you know I'm not the one to talk shit, and I seen some Broncos fans saying Benito. I was one of them said Benito him and maybe a second round in 2026 for him, but you're gonna have to pay. I stated I stated before, I love Jerry Jones' business sense is I don't understand. He wants to deal with the players, but that's not how it goes. Jerry, you should already know that. You know what I mean? You're not going to take a handshake and say, yeah, yeah. And he's told you to talk to the agent. So he requested a trade. Do I believe that he's going to get traded? Nah, man. I think Micah Parsons is not going to they're going to eventually pay him like they always do. Always wait to the last minute. That means you probably could have got him for way about $70 million less than you can get him now since TJ Watt signed that 41 million dollars a year deal. So and then Myles Garrett got that 40 mil deal. So you're gonna have to get him at least 42 mil or 41 and a half. So that's something that I'm not exactly sure why Jerry Jones always waits to the last minute, but that's just what it is. But the the fans are crazy. The buzz was crazy. It's just one of those. I just feel like who knows what's going to happen. I don't see him getting out of Dallas. But if you see the scheme of things, Jerry Jones just waits too long for to sign his players. You know what I mean? I understand he stated that he was injured prior, but at the end of the day, he was injured. It happens. So what do you want him to do? You know what I mean? Yeah, injuries happen, and it's 100% injury rate in the NFL. So he's still young. He's only 27 years old. So why not pay him his first big contract? He probably only gets one more, possibly two, depending on how that works out. So Cowboys fans, don't worry, he's not getting traded. But the scenario of Knicks to um or Nick Benito and Michael Parsons trade was crazy, but it's not a bad trade to be honest with you. We just got to give up maybe a second rounder, not a first rounder, but a second rounder. Um, but yeah, that's just something that Jerry Jones needs to figure out. I don't know what his thing is about not um not signing his players when they need to be signed. Just take it from the Broncos. We signed Zach Allen, Cortland Sutton on deals before Terry McLaurin got his with Cortland Sutton, and before Micah Parsons jumped off on some wild stuff. And we got them signed. They're happy. They're ready to go. We got to get them before it becomes astronomical, so large that you're like, damn, dude, I really got to pay him the max. So, I'm just saying about that. So, um, that's just one of those things where I hope all parties involved. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not going to be a Cowboy because he is. He's still got one more year left. So he signed CD Lamb right before the season started, just like a couple years or previous year. Dak Prescott got signed right before the season starts. So I think Micah's just going to be the another Cowboy in the in the whole situation. So Cowboy fans, just relax a little bit. I think y'all be all right. So one thing I want to dive into just around training camp is Justin Fields. Justin Fields, first day or second day of camp, he got hurt, whatever, last week. It's all good. His toe, whatever. And I know Jet fans is stating not again. So but all signs look like he's good. He's back practicing. He's doing his thing, and he's part of my top five most surprising teams. And I root for Justin Fields. I always rooted for Justin Fields to do great in the league, and I think I think he did well this in the Steelers, and I don't think that Steelers should have took him out when they were 4-2. I think they would have took him a lot further and they'd been a lot better, especially down the stretch. I have no ill will with Russell Wilson. I actually like Russell Wilson, but I just think Russell Wilson is he's uh he's an old dog with no new tricks at this point. So that's kind of how I see Russell Wilson. But Justin Fields gotta have to go improve it, man. He signed that 2 year, what is it, 20 mil a year, so 42 year, 40 mil. I believe Aaron Glenn believes in him. Shoot, you know what I mean? I'm rooting for the kid. So everything's all good. I hope he looks good. He's with Garrett Wilson, and I think that dude from Ohio State's gonna recreate some good things out of there. Um, and hopefully that just comes out. So, like I said, Justin Fields, he's back on the field. He's doing his thing in camp. Um, and we'll just hope to see what happens. So, with all that, he sat down and talked to uh Kay Adams about his situation just the other day when she was out there at training camp, and this is kind of what he said. So yeah, so he's done with the toe. Everything is healthy. He's ready to go. So that's one thing that I'm intrigued on and just kind of dig. He's ready, and we'll just got to see how the Jets are. Um, so yeah, we'll just see how the Jets go, and we'll see how they do this year. I have no predictions on them. Hopefully, they can compete in the AFC East, which I can see them doing. Them and the Patriots is going to be pretty good. And all things out of Jets camp, everything looks good. He's the number one starter. He's not looking over his shoulder. He has a better team around him than he ever had in Chicago. Steelers was a pretty good team, and you see what happened to him. He did pretty well. And hopefully Justin Fields will just do his thing and put some doubters, shut some doubters up with that. Um Now I want to get into my top five. Um my top five my top five surprise NFL teams this year. And this one right here, uh, we'll just see how it works out. Um, my top five teams are we're going from 5 to 1. So number five, Carolina Panthers with Jimmy Horn now there, T Mac there. You still got Xavier Leggett, Bryce Young. He takes another step like he did in the beginning or the end of last year. I think that team's going to be good. Defense, I'm not exactly sure, but I see them taking a big jump this year. That's my number five team. Number four team is Arizona. Kyler Murray, he had a pretty good year last year. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. You have a couple people. You have James Conner, the running back. So you have a decent team and a pretty good offensive line. Defense is okay, but middle of the pack defense. But I think overall they're going to be fine. I think that's my number four team. My number three team is Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, if he takes another jump. You have Brian Robinson, Travis Hunter. I think the defense is decent. Um, Actually, pretty good pass rush. But if you get that jump, if they could bring it together and cohesively come together, and Trevor Lawrence takes that jump, I think they have an opportunity to make some noise. Number two, no one really talking about the number two team on my list is the 49ers. The 49ers, I think people are sleeping on them just because they lost so much. Robert Saleh's back at the defensive coordinator, so they're going to run that old that Jets defense slash the old 49ers defense. They still have Warner in the middle. Brock Purdy, can he be the same Brock Purdy? But you still have Kittle, you still have Ayuk, you still have Jennings, and McCaffrey's coming off of an injury. We'll see how he bounces back, but I think overall you're going to be good right there with those guys. Um, but people are sleeping on them, and I like Kyle Shanahan. Um, so but we'll see how it turns out. But I think it's going to be a surprise team that nobody's talking about. Plus, if you see how the 49ers are, they go up and down on certain things. One day they suck for like a year, and then they're good for a year. They're okay for another year, and then they suck for a year, and then they're great again. So I think this is their great season right here. No one's talking about it. Brock Purdy got paid earlier this year, so he's ready to go. So there's no talking about there. It seems like it's a little quiet in the 49ers camp. They're just kind of doing what they're going to do. So I think they're going to be pretty good. Granted, they did lost a lot of players off the defense, but they still have those guys that filled in from last year that played their asses off. So I feel like the Niners are kind of slept on a little bit this year. And my number one team, um, like we just talked about them. So the New York Jets is my number one um surprise team that will make some noise in the NFL this year. Like I said, if Justin Fields takes a step or two. Um, you got Garrett Wilson, you got all the draft picks that they got. They finally got a good coach, I believe, and the defense is still good, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, the defense is still good. You got Sauce Gardner. You still have who else? Ah man, I keep on forgetting his name. Defensive tackle shoot, I forgot his name. Williams, yeah. You have all those boys up there defense. So if they can get off to a if their offense could come together and start rolling early, there's going to be trouble for a lot of people in the AFC East. Granted, Buffalo, I feel is still the team to beat. Um, but I feel like just can make some noise in there, and that's my top five. So again, Carolina Panthers, Arizona Cardinals, Jacksonville Jaguars, 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, and the New York Football Jets. I believe they're my top five surprise teams. And like I said, Justin Fields just got to bounce back and take the step. Um, also, Carolina Panthers. Again, if Bryce Young takes another step, would be good. He has weapons, um, and I feel like they can have a big year if Bryce Young could be the Bryce Young of the last 4 to 5 games last year, and then you be all good. So that's just kind of how I see it. Um, but yeah, let's dive in, and I want to talk specifically to about certain things. This past week, uh, we all talked about it. We all heard about it. Um, Coach Prime. First off, I want to say, Coach Prime, congratulations for beating cancer, and we all rooting for you. All everybody in the Boulder, Denver, Colorado, the whole Colorado's rooting for you, man. So I'm glad you beat that cancer, man. I'm glad you're back. I seen some stuff all well off, documenting the whole situation. I honestly thought it was I thought it was, to be honest with you, when he's been out, I really thought it was some type of forms of cancer. But I'm not gonna jump on the pod and talking, oh, I think Coach Prime had this, but for what I thought it really was what it was. So, but glad he beat it. Again, shout out to you, man. Not just for that, but being a great father when it comes to that, knowing the situation, reading the room. And when I say reading the room, and as a father of boys myself, understanding that you're going through something, but you don't want to put that burden on your children because they have things in their life that they want to achieve and their goals they want to go for. And that's something that I don't think people really understood until you said it. Um, I'd have probably did the same thing as a man and as a father. Doing that is something that I commend you for. I'm glad God has blessed you with beating it, and they got it in time. I would have did the same thing, man. The love for your children make you do some things that you're willing to go in the file for, and that's something that I commend Coach Prime for. And I'm glad he's back healthy, coaching his team up. But yeah, again, shout out to you, Coach Prime. Appreciate you what you're doing to not just the city of Boulder, but the whole state of Colorado. We needed that. We needed that blessing from you, and you sure are giving us that blessing, man. And how you dealt with it, and just wanted to just the fight to have to learn how to pee, and depending, it's just one of those things where I'm not sure most people would have did that, but you did that, and that's just something shows. It shows not just show me as a man, but what's your team, that my coach is really to get back and really to guide us and do the most the hardest thing to do to get back to us. That's something that if my son was going to had a choice to go to CU or go to anywhere where Coach Prime coaches, I'll send him there, try to get him there as fast as possible, and make that decision work, because that's something a leader does. And now, like you said, everyone go get checked. Trust me, you know, I've been checked, and it's one of those things where people do got to give up. You know, stop stop being scared, because stuff like that, especially if you have kids, don't be scared of something like that, because you just never know. But I commend you, Coach Prom, for that, man. Much love, God bless, all that. But now I want to uh talk about all the people that are hating on him and don't understand what he was going through, and just having the narrative to say some stupid shit. Oh, he's not a coach long. He's not going to do this because he's not healthy. You know what? What he did was the best thing, not just for him. He did it the best thing for the people around him, not just his team, but his family. Because no one wants to see them have to go get treatment every week or every other week or every other day, and have it in hope that it don't spread. So I'm glad it pisses me off for people to be so inconsiderate when it comes to that, when he was just trying to lay back and chill and just kind of stay out the way. But everybody assumes shit. Everybody think they know stuff, but even me, I'm not gonna sit here and say I knew it. I just had a feeling that it was worse than that, because Coach Prime usually be moving. So that's one thing about that, as well as what the procedures got. I have a family member that got the same procedure of Coach Prime. Yes, it's not. He's not gonna just have a fucking bag on his hip all the time. They literally rebuilt a bladder for him. It's a different way of life. But as he keeps on getting better and healing up, and as the weeks and the months and the years go on, he's gonna be able to pee again regularly. He's just gonna have to do a certain couple things. People don't understand it. They should probably do some Googles and shit, and stop assuming what he has to do. So, if you don't know what he has to do, that's what he has to do. As he heals, as his bladder gets bigger and bigger, he's gonna be able to pee on his own. He's already doing that. So he's just got to get used to it. So I don't want to hear, oh, his health concerns. Actually, he looks good and healthy and ready to go. I haven't seen I haven't seen this watching all the videos and stuff. I haven't seen Coach Prime in that good mood in a long time, man. He got some clarity. I know he went through it, but he got some clarity, and people need to understand. Don't do it for clicks. Just explain what he got. If you want to Google what he got, just Google what he got. If not, and if you never been around somebody that had it, then you'll understand. You don't understand. I've been around somebody that had the same surgery that Coach Prime had. So all that stuff right there, all he has to do is continue to do what he has to do to use the restroom. Everything else is fine except for how he has to pee. And as he gets through more, like I said, months, years go past, he's going to be able to do it like clockwork. So, shout out to Coach Prime again. Now, moving on to um the team. Something I want y'all to understand is there's so much hate for CU football. It's crazy, but I like it. Why? One thing is finally they're getting the recognition that they needed for a long time. Not just that, I just like rooting for them. Just because Coach Prime and everybody, those I don't want to hear you're a Prime whatever. You're a Prime fan. Yeah, I am a Deion Sanders fan. I remember watching him growing up. I remember all that. I remember from Atlanta team to the Niners team to the Cowboys team to the Redskins team. And first of all, Coach Prime, you picked the Redskins over Denver, dog. He picked the. I remember that. He even said about his suits. I looked out and I was picking out my suit to see what team goes. I like the red better than the blue. It's okay, Coach Prime. We got you now, though, right? Somehow, some way, you made it here. But um, he looks good. Now moving on to the team. If you can't get fired up for your coach after he went through and he wants you to get there, he wants you to. I don't know. I'll run through the ball after what Coach Prime been through as a player because he's willing to do what he has to do to win, and what he had to do to win. And when I say win, I mean getting back to his team, fighting that and winning, fighting it, winning cancer, and getting back to his team. There's no excuse for that team not to play their asses off. And from what I see, they look good, fellas. They look good, man. So, um, now, now what I think is, I think they got the ethical offensive line. You still got Jordan Seaton coming back. You got Chrysler. You got Larry Johnson. Um, Hill. You got them boys look like a a team that y'all are sleeping that people are sleeping on. Um, So I'm excited for the CU team. It's not like I wasn't excited for the teams in the past, but this team I feel like it's been another cycle. It's the third year of Coach Prime, and it's another cycle. It's another cycle. So this third year is important. I believe it's important. Um, this is the first year without Coach Prime having his son as a quarterback and all that good stuff. And honestly, like I said, I seem like it's a better team. They're more focused. They're more in shape. They're ready to go, and I'm excited for them to do so. Um, as long as that offensive line and they can run the ball, I think it's kind of scary for um teams in the Big 12. Also, the defense looks good. If the defense can continue to do what they're going to do with the same coordinators, finally, everything is the same. The coaching is the same. They just added great coaches from Marshall Falk to Byron Leftwich. I believe this team is going to uh, show some people that whole 5.5 over under 5.5 wins. I got them going to a bowl game and competing for the Big 12 championship with this. Um, so with that, we're just going to have to see how they are. Training camp's on the way, so I know what's the it's what, a weekend now? Oh, not training camp, a weekend of fall camp, and from all signs of all the reports that I've heard that they looking good. We got some new running backs, all that. Shout out to Charlie Offerdahl for retiring. Understandable. Um, I just like what I'm seeing from CU, man. They look good and excited. I'm excited for them to have a great year, another great year this year. And I know, look at this way, they expect more than just going to a bowl game this year. So, hopefully that can happen. So, but the headlines coming out of that fall camp that I want to go out was just can the O line produce? If the O line can produce, defensive line can produce. We'll figure out who the quarterback battle is. You probably won't hear nothing until the week of or the couple days before the first game against Georgia Tech, a month. less than a month now from now. And me personally, I don't care who wins the battle. I think they're both pretty good players, and I think honestly, I think they're gonna probably both play. So let's just be honest. I think it depends, situation, down distance situation, stuff like that. I think they're gonna play, and if they can both produce, I think he got it because I don't see Coach Prime picking one of the roller one. But if he picks one and rolls with one, then hey, that's his decision. That's what it is. But you're gonna have to work their they're gonna have to work their ass off. And one thing I also wanted, that is headlines, is who's going to replace, Travis on the other side. That's something I'm intrigued because right now I feel like DJ McKinney, they're not going to really throw his way or test him too much this year, because of what he showed last year. But I think that whoever's on the other side is going to get some work. But it's Coach Prime, cornerbacks for him. He'll teach him. He'll coach him up. And can the young guys that been on this team for a couple of years or a year or two, um, step up from the guys that left because you're replacing a whole receiving core, uh, a safety, well, both your safeties, a cornerback, some linebackers. From what all the transfers come in, I can see it. Um, Honestly, it looks like even in some of the videos I see it off well off and recent people in the pregame show that um the linebackers look good. You know what I mean? So I'm intrigued for that. I'm intrigued to see how that defensive line looks. You still have pretty much all the same defensive line coming back, except for maybe one. I think they're going to be good. But yeah, man, overall, I feel like this team's going to be great. Not great. They're going to be good. We'll see if they can get to great, which I think they can be. They just got to, not have all the turnovers or penalties like they had in the past and things like that. So I'm intrigued to see kind of how they do. And again, before we move on, I got some clips for y'all to uh see with this is their schedule. We'll run down their schedule real quick. Uh so they got them at 5.5. 5.5, over under 5.5, 5.5, I believe. Um I see Georgia Tech's a toss up, Delaware win, um, Houston win, Wyoming win, BYU no quarterback, so I'm gonna say that's a win. That's right now I got 4-1, possibly 5-0. If they get that one in Georgia Tech, they're going 5-0. TCU, good game. They coming home or they be here in Boulder, so that's a toss up game too. So looking at the schedule, I got them shit. I got them finishing. I got them 10-2. 10-2. Finish this with this schedule. I got them 10-2. Just simple fact is, I believe they're not going to sneak up on people. I believe that they're going to show people. Uh, they're not going to sneak up on them. Well, I guess you could say they're not going to sneak up on people. What I think is, you're not going to realize how good they are until they beat Georgia Tech. And then you're gonna be like, who's that? You know what I mean? Watch out, watch out. But that's just how I see it. I don't see anything when it comes to that. I think Coach Prime got his team. It's gonna be ready. Plus, with the strength and conditioning that they just had, and Coach Swayze, they're gonna do their thing. So, Coach Prime, I'm intrigued to see how Coach Prime does his thing throughout the year. So he's ready, man. He's ready from the recruiting to coaching. He's ready. So So again, Coach Prime is ready, looks healthy, looks good. So I'm intrigued to see how this Buffs team come out and play. I'm rooting for them and all that good stuff. So we'll just gotta see, and we'll see what happens. You know, they've been doing their thing. Uh, we just gotta see, and then another coach that was added um to this coaching uh another coach, Brian Leftwich, added to um the staff, which that's big for Juju and Kaden Salter, but preferably Juju because he has 3 years there and he's young and he's developing and perfect person to develop with. So Byron Leftwich, what Coach Tom Brady won a Super Bowl, offense coordinator, played in the league for 10 plus years, had one of the best games at Marshall I've ever seen with a broken foot, where his offensive line was carrying him down the field. He's still getting in there, shotgun snap, bam. He's doing his thing. So Byron Leftwich is a hell of a coach to grab. You know, after Coach Prime and Media Day was seeing uh, he was trying to get Zimmer and Leftwich on the staff, but he got Leftwich right now, so that's gonna be just soaking up all that quarterback knowledge with that. So it's gonna be intriguing to see. So I'm excited to see how all that works with the um with Coach Prime and Byron Leftwich. And we just got to see. We just got to see. So um we just got to see how that works. And I'm not exactly sure. I just think it's going to be great for those quarterbacks up there, and I'm excited to see how they learn from a guy like Byron Leftwich. I know I just want to see the overall team, so I can't wait to that Georgia Tech game, and so we can see what's going on and see how they just how they play and see what type of team this is. It's third year. This is not a make or break year, but this is a year usually you take a substantial leap in the college game after getting some of your guys getting that two recruiting classes in and getting the players that you want in. So, like I said, I got them 10-2, fighting for the Big 12 championship, and see if they can get into the playoffs. 12 people or 12 teams, so see if they can get into playoffs, and we'll see from right there if they get into the playoffs. Boy, this the Boulder and everybody's gonna go crazy because you know what I mean. Yeah, so hopefully they could. So moving on to something that's been around, which is kind of it's a weird situation going on with uh this guy. I don't know exactly what's up with it, but the whole um situation with Christian Christian Watkins, he was a Clemson defensive tackle or DN, one of the two. Got released from the Raiders this earlier this week. I'm not exactly sure, but from what I've heard, that he was kissing another teammate. He was playing around, doing all that. I don't know if he's zesty or not, but locker room is one of those places where you should not be kissing dudes. Um, kissing dudes on the forehead or whatever you may be doing with yourself. But that's something that's not supposed to be in the locker room. I don't care if you're a transformer or a like Caitlyn Jenner, or you're a if you like men, that's just something that you don't display that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to hide it. And I'm not homophobic or any shit like that, but that's being in locker rooms. That's not what you do. That's not how you do it. You don't be in there kissing dudes and rubbing up on shit. And like I seen a video of him digging in somebody's ass and shit. So I don't know what's up with the cat, but this is what I got from the Pat McAfee show and how he's doing all that crazy stuff. Yeah, I've never seen it either in the locker room, and I've been in plenty of locker rooms as a player and a coach. Um, so you've been released. I'm not exactly sure what's up with that. He might be a little zesty, and it's fine, but don't go kissing your teammates, dog. That's something. That's a vibe thing. So I'm not exactly sure what's up with that situation and how that is about. But weird to me. I don't think that again. I'm not homophobic, but that shit is crazy. Like they stated before, they probably just didn't fuck with him. He just probably didn't. They didn't fuck with him that much, and you doing that shit felt weird. Let's get this guy out of here as a distraction or whatever. So, this is the clip of the zestiness that people have seen, I guess. Um, so I guess that's just the. What are you supposed to like? I don't understand it. If he can, he's flexible to do splits. That don't necessarily make him zesty, but he does some zesty shit. So, my man, I don't know what it is. If you zesty, then be zesty. It's all good, but don't bring that shit to the locker room. That and would anybody pick him up? That's the question. But they said that it was because he wasn't taking his rehab seriously. But it's mostly because he was acting zesty in the locker room. So what are you supposed to do? I have no clue. That's not my problem. That's that. I don't know what to say about this shit. This shit's just weird to me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Um, again, this shit is funny to me. Why? Because niggas just zesty and for no reason, I guess. But that's beside, I guess, the point, the 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 thing. Who knows? But he was released this earlier, well, beginning of training camp. They were on week 2. Um, so I'm not exactly sure what's up with that. It's kind of weird. So we just gotta have to figure that shit out. You know what I mean? I wish him well, and if he feels zesty, stay on that side. But let's not get into it. Just like there's a couple shows that ESPN had. There's a show that ESPN had that showed there was a gay guy in the locker room and didn't go so well. Stuff like that. Or what's his name? Michael Sam, Uncle Sam, whatever his name was. He was zesty as well, but you know, I think he was a pretty good defensive end out of Missouri, I believe. That He was zesty coming into the league. He dropped to the league. No one wanted to be around him. He probably played 1 or 2 years, 3 years at the most in the league. So that's not a place to show your zestiness. So we'll see if he gets back on the team. I have no clue. If there has been, someone has to call him out. Like, yo, your homeboy, your boy's got to be like, what's up, weird motherfucker? What's going on? I would if it was my boy that did that. I'd be like, yo, dog, are you on that side? And if he says no, I'd be like, come on, dog, why you kissing dudes in the locker room? You got to have some good explanation why you kissing dudes in the locker room. But maybe that's just how I feel about the situation. You feel me? But hey, to each their own. To each their own. There's nothing I can say about that. You feel me? But um, let's see. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, training camps, fall camps, all going. I have multiple, all this content on all football. Football season's here. Everybody excited. It's time for that fall feel, that vibe on this channel. Again, like, subscribe to the channel Side Talk Sports. Again, watch out for my show, The Locker Room Talk, as well as Mile High Mindset with my co-host Larry Strove. Comes out Mondays at 11 a.m. And then what we're going to start doing is post game on Denver Broncos every week, all 17 games, playoffs as well, because we're going to the playoffs. Again, shout out to Coach Prime, um, and all that for his for battling and winning that cancer. And one thing also I want to dive into real quick is uh, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns and Shador Sanders. The QB battle. I've been keeping up to date, like I told y'all. I'm up to date to all that. Um, last week, Kenny Pickett's been out the last couple of days. Shador showed his ass, completing 70% of his passes, touchdowns. He's getting teams with he's getting reps with the first team or the second team against the first team, and still completing at a high percentage. Again, I don't understand why they continue to get him no reps with the first team. I'm not exactly sure why everyone says bring him slower, and he has they're giving Dylan Gable more of the playbook. I just don't understand it. It just don't make sense to me. And people that know Shador, that seen him play since he got into college, knows that he can play this game at a high level. Um, I'm not going to sit here and fight over the whole completion things at camp. It's training camp, so it counts, but it don't count. Everyone tracks the numbers. They track the numbers. Like, again, we're just going to have to see the preseason and those inter squad practices they have coming down the line. We're just going to have to see how that works. So I have no doubts that somehow, some way, he's going to play this year. I just don't understand why they continue to bullshit with his reps. Um, from all accounts, he's doing what he needs to do. He's completing passes. He looks good. His teammates love him. Um, like I said before, he's better than all three of those quarterbacks that he's going against. He's the best quarterback that came out this draft. No disrespect to Cam Ward, because I like Cam Ward as well. Um, again, those Shador fans, they're rabid dogs, and they ain't playing with y'all. Shout out to all the Buff Nation and the Prime Nation. Uh, whoever else is in that, I see y'all on Twitter doing their thing. But I know today in practice, he sat out of practice. Per source is because he had a sore arm. That's possible because he starts practice 45 or 40 to 45 minutes before practice, throws during practice, and he stays after to get some more throws. I understand he was throwing with the ball boys slash trainers, but at the end of the day, that's just for extra work. And some of his teammates ain't gonna stay with him after that. Some of his teammates is like, I'm out of here, which rightfully so. Shit, they all went through training camp and all that. I see that Coach Prime said that he didn't go see him because Shador wants to be right first, which I totally understand. I wouldn't want my dad to come see me if I wasn't right yet, too. But looking at the stats, so the Browns QB stat tracker that I'm about to announce started with Joe Flacco. 54 for 92, 58% completions percentage in camp, and 3 touchdowns. Does that matter? Not really in camp, but I guess this is the battle we all pay attention to. Kenny Pickett, 23 of 30, 67.6% completions, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dylan Gabriel, 62 of 113, 54.9% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Shador Sanders, 49 of 70, 70% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Don't worry, I'll wait. Did we soak that in? He's going to complete at a high rate. That's just who he is. If you ever know who a player is as a coach, as a person, you just know that player is going to do something. Like, you know that at the end of the game, you got to watch out because Tom Brady might just come back and win. Patrick Mahomes is that guy now. So consistency, he's the most consistent person out there. With the least reps per se, I don't know Kenny Pickett because he was gone a couple game or a couple practices. But that's just what it is. He's going to complete the ball. He gets completions. That's what you want. You want to get completions so your receivers or running backs can do something with the ball. That's why I said he's the best quarterback in this group. I understand he's a rookie, but if you really think about it, he's been trained to do this his whole life by somebody like his father that's a Hall of Fame player that understands what it is, how a quarterback's supposed to look. Why? I understand he's a defensive guy, but guess what the cornerbacks do? They read the quarterback. That's what some y'all don't understand. His dad understands, okay, if I'm looking over here or I'm looking over here, I'm trying to bait this guy to throw it my way because Deion never got the ball thrown his way too much. You get what I'm saying? So I think people don't understand that part. Media don't understand that part. They just think it is what it is. But again, personally, I'm just gonna sit back and look at it and just kind to watch it all play out. Preseason games next week for the Cleveland Browns, and I'm intrigued to see how they're going to split it up. But today he did not practice today, and I know a lot of people has been on some shit about him not practicing, saying that there's something fishy. But I'm not going to sit here and say it's uh fishy. I just think maybe he um had a sore arm. I don't see that. I see that 100%. Should he get reps with ones? Yeah, but hey, he got reps with twos against the ones, and he's beating up the ones defense. So I guess he'd rather be stuck with the twos than the ones because I understand that he hasn't thrown to Jerry Judy or anybody like that. But if you're with the twos going against the ones and you're still completing at a high clip, I think that's the best way to get better. And I don't think people realize that. And for those that don't know, the twos go against the one defense. So Shador's going against the number one defense of Cleveland, and he's completing passes. You know what I mean? He's not struggling. You don't see a 3 for 13 like Dylan Gabriel the other day. And I feel like and my thing is I think they're had him not practice today to give not Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel all the reps to see how he does. He's going to probably start the first preseason game, and we're going to see from there. Because I know eventually he's going to throw some incomplete passes. And I'm not hating on Dylan Gabriel. I just feel like Shador's just a better quarterback. That's just what it is. Dylan Gabriel's in the NFL, and I don't give a shit their draft status or their draft thing because, like I always tell people, Shador is predicted to be a first round pick. first round, early first round, late first round. Dylan Gabriel was projected to be a sixth to seventh round pick to an undrafted free agent. And again, the owner of the Cleveland Browns said what he said. It is what it is. Shador, just do your thing. You got a 4-year contract with Cleveland Browns. If they want to trade you, let them trade you. Like he can only control what he can control. And obviously, um, I'm all about it. But I wanted to show you this. My man Delvin the Truth. He's on Twitter. Y'all check him out. I get the craziest things from this dude off of X. And I want y'all, since we're talking about the battle, I want y'all to check this out. Shout out to, if you ever hear my podcast, Delvin, you're the man when it comes to this shit, dog. So Dalvin the Truth, dog. Shout out to you, brother. I get a lot of contact from you, man. It's enjoyable, my man. Dalvin the Truth. Check him out on X, man. I'm gonna shout you out, bro. You're fucking hilarious when it comes to that. But um, again, we'll see when I don't believe he's gonna. They're treating him like a fifth round pick, ladies and gentlemen. And all you guys got to understand that they're treating him like a fifth round pick, even though everybody knows that he's not a fifth round pick. 70% completion or higher is what he does. You know, he's been consistently 70 or above. Again, highest completion in college football history. He broke 110 records at CU because of it. Um, even though they said there are screens, I didn't see a lot of screens. I seen a lot of deep shots, but hey, what do I know? I just watched the games. But we'll see. There's a lot of hate on Shador just because they don't like how he carries himself. Like I always say, if you don't like it, oh well, it is what it is. I'm rooting for the kid. Just the simple fact that I think he's a good quarterback. You know what I mean? If we didn't have Bo Nix in Denver, I would want him. I'll be screaming the mountains, screaming to the mountains to get Shador. But and then another thing about Shador. Um, so word through the grapevine, I heard. Well, maybe this is some internet bullshit, but I heard that the Broncos was going to pick him up. That was their backup plan. If Bo Nick struggled, but I don't know. That's just word. You know, you people hear shit. Uh, I would love to see him at the Broncos. Him and Bo Nix, get him right. Trade one of them. That's just me. More quarterbacks, the better to me. Um, especially learning from Sean Payne. Ooh, but yeah, man, we're just gonna have to see. He's not gonna start the year. I feel like it's gonna be Flacco and then whoever else. I still don't believe Kenny Pickett's going to be on his team, the final 53. And if that's the case, that is crazy if they keep all four because they're not going to release Shador. I don't want to hear as much as people say that they're going to release Shador. I don't believe that at all because he's not getting through practice squad. Dylan Gabriel will be able to get through practice squad before Shador does. Kenny Pickett, I feel like I'm not exactly sure. I feel like he's getting traded. I don't see four guys on that 53 because you got to take away from another special teamer. And I don't see any NFL keeping four guys where you can at the most see three. So, and even then, you know what I mean. So, I don't see that. I just don't see it. But again, this battle is going to be battling through this whole time. Hopefully, usually probably after the first preseason game, I believe you'll start seeing them divvy up who they're getting ready for the season. Um, and I think this day was for Dylan Gabriel to see if he's able to handle it. Um, but I don't see I don't see Shador. Uh, from all accounts, Shador has been the man, and we'll just see how it goes. Like I said before, we're going to see, and I just think he's the best quarterback on the field or on that team. And I like Joe Flacco. He broke my heart one year, back in 2012. So Joe Flacco, he can still spin it. but is his body willing to get hit like it did when he was 23, 24? So, and Kenny Pickett, you're a bust. You got overdrafted just like Dylan Gabriel did. So that's just what it is. Harsh reality. I don't understand why Cleveland media keep on thinking Kenny Pickett's the man. He's not. He's terrible. Y'all know. Y'all seen him in Pittsburgh. He lucked up and went to Philly and got a ring. He had a couple good games. He's a spot starter. Dylan Gabriel, he's not a Russell Wilson type or a Kyler Murray being short and not seeing stuff and not understanding certain things. So I think Shador's going to be the guy eventually, and they're gonna. You can't say you lucked up into drafting Shador. Um, you just lucky you drafted Shador. So again, I'm gonna stick by my guns and say this kid's gonna do his thing eventually. And if not, I feel like it's gonna be another Baker Mayfield where you let your franchise quarterback go because he's not your vibe, and all of a sudden he's in Tampa balling. I can see that happening 100%. So that's just what it is. And who knows? We'll just see. Um, we'll see what happens. Again, content about Shador, the QB battle, CU Buffs, Denver Broncos, NFL, everything. So again, as I'm getting out of here, uh, thank you for tuning in to Side Talk Sports Podcast with me, your boy Eli. Thanks for the vibing. Thanks for vibing with me ahead. Go ahead, smash the like and subscribe button for me. I truly appreciate that. Um, Even if you agree or disagree, just leave your comment to see what's up. We're just here kind of showing you my or telling you my takes and how I feel. What's up with that? You can find me on social on X at Griffin III. As well, you can find Side Talk Sports on TikTok at Side Talk Sports. Again, tune in. Also, tune in Mondays at 11 a.m. Mile High Mindset with me and my co-host Larry Stroh. We dive into nothing but Broncos and what's going on with them. As well, look for Locker Room Talk with me um, every week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Again, Side Talk Sports. I appreciate y'all for listening. Check it out. Much love to y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.